All right, everybody, it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Awareness Month. This is the month to break out your pink ribbons and outfits, in support of breast cancer awareness. So it's Wellness Wednesday. And here on the Rickey Smiley Morning Show, we got the one and only Dr. M.J. Collier is back with us this week. Dr. Collier, good morning.
Good morning, Rickey Smiley, and thank you once again for the opportunity to bring healthcare information to the listeners of the Rickey Smiley Morning Show. So, Rickey, today's topic is breast cancer, very important, particularly in the African-American community. So after skin cancer, Rickey, breast cancer is the second most commonly diagnosed cancer among American women. 1 in 8 women will be affected, and I know everybody has somebody in their family, a friend, an auntie, a grandmother that's been affected by this, because 1 in 8 women who live to the age of 80 will get this disease state. And we expect about 288,000 new cases this year, 2022, in the United States, and about 15% of all new cancer diagnoses and about 7% of cancer deaths will be due to breast cancer. So disproportionately represented, believe it or not, Rickey, white women get breast cancer more often than black women. It's highly unusual for that to be the case, but black women die more often from this disease state. So, other factors that can affect the woman's risk. It's thought to be it's highly associated with obesity, breast density, your menstrual history, your lifestyle, whether you have a sedentary lifestyle or not, how much alcohol you bring in, and other disease states. So your comorbid conditions, your general health. If you're African American and you live in the United States, you're under stress nonstop. So, just the black experience, it creates a stressful lifestyle, and that predisposes us to a lot of disease states.
Oh, wow.
So what are some signs and symptoms, Dr. Collier, that are out there that we can pay attention to?
Okay, and these are things that the man in your life, ladies, and the women. Women, you need to do breast exams, best done in the shower. You can get some soap so that your fingers are slippery and you can feel all over your breast. Get to know your breast, because every lump and bump is not a potential cancer, but what you're looking for is something that's different, a change in the way your breast feel. So a lump, a mass, a change in the feel or position of the breast is among the most common symptoms of breast cancer. Swelling, redness, or inflammation. Changes in the nipple, or nipple discharge, pain in the breast, itchy or irritated breast, changes in color, and peeling or flaky skin anywhere on the breast. They call that peau d'orange. It looks like an orange peel, and when you see that, that is very commonly associated with a cancer diagnosis.
Oh, wow. Wow. So go ahead.
So, Dr. Collier, I don't know if it's a myth or if it's real, but some people say that deodorant causes breast cancer. Does deodorant cause breast cancer?
I don't think that deodorants cause breast cancer. Everybody uses it, and I think the incidence would be much higher if it was actually a direct response to deodorants. And, some people, they go to the natural deodorants that, in my opinion, don't work as well as an antiperspirant deodorant, but I don't think there's a high correlation between those two things. I think that would be easy enough to find out or figure out, and we just haven't seen that, in the patients.
But that baby powder, Dr. Collier, has been linked to
various types of cancers. And, so baby powder, a lot of women will use baby powder inside their bras, in particular if they, when you get skin-on-skin contact, you may perspire a lot, so that could do it.
Wow.
And using it under your arms, using it, in your panty area, all those areas, there's been a definitive association between those types of powders and the increase of types of cancers in women.
And we used to do that all the time, Dr. Collier. My granny used to, that was the thing she taught us.
Powder your whole body.
Yeah, a little shower, put a little powder under your breast so when you sweat, and then your little crack in your panties.
Yeah, but that shower to shower, one of my high school classmates, he actually went to trial for it and sued and won an $80 million lawsuit from Johnson & Johnson.
Yeah.
He got cancer?
Ultimately killed his mother. My friend that lives in Jacksonville, Marvin Salter. It was on CNN.
Oh man!
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so
goodness.
that stuff, that shower to shower stuff, I think they took it off the shelf or whatever. But Johnson & Johnson had to pay out a whole lot of money for that baby powder and stuff. I would not recommend nobody use it. What are your thoughts, Dr. Collier?
Yeah, it's still on the shelf, Rickey, as a matter of fact. And people do use it, again, and people will continue to use it because they're just willing to take the risk, I guess, versus being, wet in in those areas. But the key thing is, again, use it in moderation. If you're going to use it, and make sure that you're only using it in the areas that you're sweating and not just, using it, just throwing it all over, so to speak, so it can get in those areas that it shouldn't, where you have mucous membranes. If it's wet and it's pink, it should not have exposure to those types of things.
Is there another powder that you recommend, or is it another powder even out there that keeps you dry in those areas that may sweat a lot?
Not one that I recommend. People are using everything from cornstarch to, to those clumps and lumps. So you
Baking
don't want
soda.
that. That was one of the reasons that they use this. So
right.
Now I'm not going to make a recommendation for powder. You got to find one that works for you and take it from there. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, Dr. Collier, I have a question. When I go for my breast screening, I get the questionnaire, and they always ask, is there family history for breast cancer? Now, how big of a role does family history play in developing breast cancer?
Okay, family history, very, very important. So if you have a mother, a grandmother, an auntie, even if you're a woman and your child has breast cancer, you are at higher risk, including your father. About 1% of breast cancers are in men, and so we expect almost 3,000 men this year to be diagnosed with breast cancer. And I had a patient in my office this week that I'm concerned about that. We're going to get a mammogram on him to check and see. And oftentimes, this is surprising when you tell them that. So mammogram is the most important first-stage diagnostic test, but a mammogram just gives you a picture of what it could be. The only way to confirm a cancer diagnosis is with a biopsy. So when women get abnormal pap smears, mammograms, they come in and ask, they say, should I get a biopsy? Always, if you want to get the real answer. Anything else is just taking pictures of what could be, cannot rule out, and correlate clinically, which is all, medical gobbledygook, meaning we don't know until we actually get a piece of the tissue and find out. So they ask you those questions sometimes, and they use that. I want to make sure all the listeners of Rickey Smiley Morning Show are aware of this. When you get a screening mammogram is covered by your insurance 100%. You don't have a copay. That is one of the 13 diagnostic tests that was confirmed by the Affordable Care Act under President Obama. But if they change the name of it to a diagnostic mammogram, you're going to have to pay for it. And so they'll use that questionnaire and things like that to convert the language from a screening mammogram to a diagnostic mammogram. And there's literally no difference between the two tests unless, there's a reason to do it. So if you get a screening mammogram and you find that, it's abnormal or has some questionable areas, then you'll convert to a diagnostic mammogram out of necessity. But if you ask for a diagnostic mammogram up front, it's going to cost you. So just ask for a screening unless you meet some of those signs and symptoms, or if you've had an abnormal mammogram in the past, then you're going to have diagnostic mammograms.
All right, Dr. Carney, let everybody know how you can be reached.
Rickey Smiley. You can reach me on all social media at Ask Dr. MJ. That's the Instagram, the Facebook. Follow me on Facebook, and I'll follow you back, I promise. And remember, if you don't take the time to keep and maintain your health now, you're going to have to take the time later when you get in a disease state. Okay, these are the opinions of Dr. MJ Collier, not those of Rickey Smiley, the Rickey Smiley Morning Show cast or its production crew.